Well, happy Sunday. It is Sunday again. Where does the time go? And literally, they took an hour away from us today. So they literally, where did the time go? So this week, before I jump into the oracle reading, I just wanted to touch or just mention something briefly about how this weekend I was down at the state basketball tournament. My daughter's team was down there, and they went into the tournament 4th place, and they ended up winning the championship. And I'm just so proud of them and so happy that they do so well. But it's bigger than sports, and that's what we get to see. And so Brian and I are focusing a lot on our next series of workshops, which is the flow state and getting into the zone, and why that's important, what's going on in our brains, and how that can be so impactful in our lives. And that was just front and center on my mind. And then going down and watching these girls and seeing exactly like, oh, they're in the flow, and how they just become like one cohesive unit playing together for this purpose, and the drive that they have, where all of these hours that they put in practice just all coming together wonderfully, and they just look like they're having fun because they are. And it's just bigger than sports, and that's it's just fun to see, because it's going to take them far in life to be able to tap into those peak experiences and know how much they're capable of. And I'm just grateful that my daughter gets to be a part of that, and so happy for those girls. But anyway, it's just fun to see those examples of what we're kind of talking about and bringing out and want people to be able to experience, because we all have that capability. But being able to see these girls tap into it and then have it carry them forward into a state championship, so that's good for them. Now we'll get into our good stuff and the oracle reading. So this week I pulled from the Mystical Shaman Oracle card deck. So I've already created the space that whatever's supposed to be known is known. So if you want to do that for yourself, if there's something specific that you're seeking guidance on, or if you just want something in general, you can do that now. Find that time now. You can push pause, because I'm jumping right in. So this week, the card that was pulled was the Child. So thinking about just children in general, when you think or see them or picture children, they just have this wonder and joy about them, that they just move when they want to move. They're so in touch with themselves. There's not typically a lot of fear, especially fear of judgment of others. They're just naturally who they are, and not tethered by expectation at that point. And then as we get older, then we develop these different stories and different conditionings that can be kind of limiting us in a way that we don't even understand. And so when this card is pulled, it's really asking us to take a look at that, to be almost reborn in a way, and to connect again with that childlike nature, to find joy and happiness, adventure, that kind of energy, that childlike energy in our world. But also it's looking at, it's like a second chance at innocence, and it's asking us to correct course. So maybe there's something that you're doing in your life that you've been conditioned to think that you must do. Maybe you're in a job, or you're in a relationship, or it could be anything. You just like a habitual thing that you just think, well, I have to do this because that's what you believe, or you were brought up thinking that you needed to by social conditioning, whatever it is, our own conditioning. This is asking us to maybe take a look at some of those things and to rethink it, and to have that rebirth where now you can look at it out of wisdom of life experiences, and not necessarily being naive to it. And it's also asking us to release ourselves from the habit of being ourselves, and to help us have that the beginner's mind to think, just have that inquiry where we can really self-explore our own being, but also relationships or other people. So can you look at maybe your spouse or your partner or your kids or any other person with fresh eyes, and to see them, kind of beyond the conditioning or these labels or these expectations that we tend to put on them, and just fully appreciate who they are, giving them like this rebirth of seeing things clearly and differently. And then also just checking in and connecting with that childlike wonder. And if there's a situation that you're in where you might need to correct course, that this is a time you don't have to be punished for it, that you have the ability to set things in motion in a way that brings about that joy and that the zest for life that children have. That's why we are here. We're not here to just go through the motions of life. We are here on this earth to really explore and to enjoy it all. We have all of these beautiful senses. We have this ability, like this playground all around us, in individuals, in plants, in nature, in animals. And sometimes we get so caught up in what we're supposed to do that we forget to explore and to enjoy. And I mean, what a waste when we lose out on those opportunities. So the child is calling us to like take a look at that. Where can we add more joy and adventure into our lives, creativity, all of that. That's why we're here. How can we have the fullest expression of who we are, who we were sent here to be? And then even I always think too, like just bringing in that wonder and the curiosity to explore beyond those conditioned stories and the habit of who we are, and thinking like maybe there's an alternative way. And so if there's certain things that you feel like, well, I've just always been this way, now is the time to challenge that. Those are the stories that we've created and that we've subscribed to, so we can dig ourselves out of those holes and out of those stories. So who do you want to be when you grow up? It's not too late to ask those things and to go after those things. And maybe pulling it all together, even with the basketball story that I started with, it's like you can have these amazing, profound goals that are very human and worldly, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you can bring the childlike wonder, the playfulness, and the exploration to those endeavors, it will make your life so much more full. So we say like the pursuit of happiness. And sometimes what happens is we get too attached to happiness, and we think that this thing, once we achieve, then we'll feel happy, when really it's in the pursuit. It's in that joy and the expansion of ourselves and trying new things and learning about ourselves, forgiving ourselves when we make a mistake, not necessarily caring too much about what other people think of us, and instead just letting those impulses or whatever, those I can't think of the word, those things that come up, just allowing them to be and playing with it, exploring with it, and then just seeing where it takes us. So if you can have that childlike wonder, that sense of joy, you bring that into your life, even if it's after you're going after these big, serious goals, it's just going to make life more fun. And just like those girls on that team, when they were having fun, they can get into the flow, they can get into the zone, and then magic happens and they become a state championship team. And it's because they put in the work, but they also never lost the ability to have fun in it. And so be like them, be like a child, and just explore, enjoy your life. It is never too late to take a course correction so that you can be more aligned with that childlike nature that we need in order to keep our vitality, our wellness, our health, and just our happiness in this world. All right, enjoy.